What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about how to fetch data, how to delete one, and how to update one. Also, we're going to be talking about a little bit about this object ID and what it is. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So guys, to kick things I don't even know what, but to kick things off, we are going to talk about this object ID, what it is. If you messed around with any other databases, you would know that any other database has a unique identifier, meaning that it has a unique key that no other field has. I mean, no other row. Yeah, no other row would have. So let's say I have a user that anybody could have the name G, and everybody could be 25 at that point, right? And they could be living in Texas. We could have like 28 Gs, 28 that are 25 and live in Texas. These aren't unique, but this ID is. This is always going to be unique for any database, for any whatever database you choose, Postgres, MySQL, it doesn't really matter. They're gonna have a key that's gonna be unique, and that's what this is. Okay. We don't specify it when we create something. We never specify the ID. It never auto increments. What it does is generates a random key with the first 4 bits. This 5C18. The first 4 is a timestamp. Okay. We'll get into it on how to actually grab the time it was created. But yeah, I mean, that's all I wanted to say about object IDs. And we can actually create one if we wanted to in here. Okay, we could create one in here, but MongoDB already does that for us, so we don't have to worry about it that much. Okay, but we will have to worry about it once we're gonna fetch data with the ID, and we'll look into that when we get there. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is fetch some data. Okay, as you can see, when you open up RoboMongo, I do have 8 of them in here, and they're literally all the same. I just copied and pasted. I mean, I ran the script like 8 times, and they're all the same. GG 25 Texas. It's all the same. So what we're gonna do is actually grab all of them, and it tells you how to get them. Look, it tells you exactly how to get them. And I did make a new collection, guys, called users, and this is where I put the name, the age, and location. And the to-dos is something completely different. It's actually text and completed, and they're all the same as well. And it tells you right here, this is a great thing about RoboMongo. It tells you how to get these things if you wanted to. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna grab them, and the way you do that is literally is the same syntax as this. Okay, but I'm gonna just copy this, comment this out, and we're gonna go to another line right here, paste. And we're gonna get rid of this client, not rid of it, but comment out, because it will mess up. Well, it will throw out an error when we're finding one, and I'll explain that in a bit. But enter one is gonna be turned into find. Yep, that's how easy it was. All this is the same, so we're gonna keep that. Actually, this object could go away now. .find, and guys, let me get rid of all this. We are going to be using promises from here on out. So if you don't know what a promise is, go check out the video up above. There's an info card. Go check out the video that I made about promises. Or if you already know, and that's great. But if you don't like my video, just find something else that suits you better on what promises are. They're exactly the same thing as callbacks. They're almost exactly the same thing. But we're going to be using promises from here on out. So, all right. So db.collectionusers.find will find the document, the collection of users, and grab us every doc that's inside of there. But the thing is, .find only gives us the references of those docs. We need to actually tell it how we want it when it comes back. Do we want it as an array? Do we want just numbers, how many docs there is? We want to tell it how to give us the information. Okay, so we're gonna do .find because we want to find one, right? And then after that, we're gonna put .toArray. This will give us an array that will come back to us. And then we're gonna put the .then, the promise. When the promise finishes, we're gonna .then docs are gonna come up, right? And in here we're gonna do, I'm gonna just do log, and this is users, right? That's supposed to be, oh, sorry guys. Users, put that in, I'm gonna put that right there like that, and then I'm gonna log out right here. JSON, oops, JSON dot stringify. We're gonna do docs undefined and 2. Now we can throw another argument right there about the error, all right? Or we could do dot catch right here. We're gonna catch an error, and this is gonna be in a function. So dot error, and it's gonna give you a function. We're gonna log out. Unable to fetch users. And then we're gonna throw out the error. All right. With this in place, we're gonna run it. Let's see if it works, and I'll explain exactly what's going on. All right, it does work. Look at this. All right, what's happening? Well, we want to get the collection users, and we want to find, without parameters, we can add parameters in it, but I didn't do it because I wanted to actually just get out the basics. So we're gonna just leave the parameters away from it, but .find finds everything inside of users, the collection users. We're gonna turn it into an array, okay? And if you know about promises and you know about .then, and then it takes in a function, what happens when it actually comes back? Well, you get this docs, right? And then you're gonna just counterlog the docs, which is the array that it gave back. If there's an error, well, it's gonna throw this error. It's gonna catch it and then throw it at us. So that's literally find. I mean, yeah. But we're gonna find a specific. Let's take a specific ID. Okay. The way we do that is literally we throw an object in here, and we literally say, since it's, remember guys, it's underscore ID. So we do underscore ID, and then I'm gonna just copy one right now. I'm gonna copy this one, copy that. Put it right here. Control save. But this will throw us an error, guys, and I'm gonna tell you why in a bit. Yeah, it didn't give us anything. You know why? That's because this right here is not a string, guys. This ID, this underscore ID, is not a string, and we cannot pass it as such. It's actually an object ID, as I mentioned above. If you looked at it right here, it's called object ID. Okay. This is specific for MongoDB. So the way we actually do this is we're gonna call over here on top. We're actually gonna get rid of this because we're gonna call multiple functions in here. So what do we do when we do that? I'm gonna just go like that, and it's actually called object ID. That's literally how it's called. Okay, and in here we're gonna actually throw in a new object ID. So object, or so right here, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this you're gonna do right here in front, new object ID, and then wrap this in parentheses. And this will work because you're telling exactly what the object ID is. We control save this, run this one more time. You will get one because there's only one that has that object ID. Even though all of these are the same, this object ID is going to be unique. And there's only one in here. I don't even know which one it was, but there's only one in here that actually has this ID. And that's how you get back with ID. You can also type in the name. Let's type in name, but they're all the same. So I'm gonna go in RoboMongo and actually change one in users. I'm going here. I'm gonna change the first one, and this is great about it. You can just right click on here, edit document. I'm gonna put Mike. Oops. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna actually open another one, and I'm gonna put right here, edit document. I'm gonna put Sam. Save that. All right. Now that we have different names, we actually go in here and actually put in here, instead of the ID, we're gonna put name that equals to Mike. Control save that. If you run it one more time, you get Mike. You get the object or the data back for Mike. So I mean, there's a lot more you could do with this, and I will leave you. Let's open up. Let's go to the docs actually, because I mean, there's so much, guys, that I can't teach you everything on how to find it, or how to find everything about. I mean, all the parameters that find takes in, but you can go into right here. I'm trying to find a damn docs. Should be right here somewhere. What did I just push? MongoDB server. And then you go to MongoDB Crud Operations. And you right here, it says insert, query, update, delete. Right here, there's more. Find, modify. I mean, the docs are all here, guys. I mean, you could just look it up if you wanted to. Insert one, insert many. Where you go, we've done one before. We just enter one. But this one takes an array, and then all the objects you want to insert, that's insert many. But yeah, just look at the docs for this, guys, and you're gonna find a lot of things that you can do with it. So I suggest you to actually look at it. So that is find at its minimal. All right. Now we're gonna look up deleting. We're gonna look up deleting. I'm gonna just copy this and comment that out. I'm doing over here. Paste. Now for delete, there's actually 3 ways of doing it. You could do delete many, which I'm gonna show you right now. Well, in a bit. You could do delete many. You could do delete one, and you could do find one and delete. We're gonna go over all 3 of those right now. So right now we're gonna just go over delete many, and we're gonna do name G, because there are a lot of G's, right? There's I don't even know. I think this is Sam. Yeah. Okay. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 delete many. Okay. I mean delete many. There are 6 G's. All right. So it should delete 6 of them. That's what we're aiming for, because we're gonna actually go for name G. There are 6 of them, so it should delete all of them. Okay. So then we're gonna get the results back. Well, it doesn't matter what you could have left it at docs, but I want to say it. I want to actually look at it. Okay. And we're gonna just console log out results. There it is. All right, and we're gonna catch the error if there is an error. So we're gonna run this right now. And you will see, oh, there's an error. DB collection delete mini to array is not, to array. Get rid of the array because you're not returning an array. It's not looking for array, okay. Let's try it again. All right, you get all this obscure stuff. Just screw all this, man. Just scroll to the top. That's what you really care about, the stuff in the top. And it's gonna tell you result N0 OK1, meaning that number, how many there are of this name G. There's 0 now, and what happened? Okay, the status of it. Okay, 1. I mean, there was one thing that we did, so that one status is okay. Like we've actually completed it. If you go back, you will find. Let me just refresh for you documents. You will find that there's no more in here. Okay, of G. That's finding all of them and deleting all of them. All right. Now we're gonna look at. I'm gonna copy this one. Copy, paste it, and we're gonna just do delete 1. Okay, 1. Control save, and actually I'm gonna do this one. And guys, I'm gonna comment this out. I am gonna insert a little bit more of G's, And I'm gonna actually show you insert many. We've done the insert one, but many is literally you enter an array. Let me copy this and take it out. All right. You insert. Wait, did I? Okay. You insert an array, and in this array, it takes in the objects that you want to insert. So we want to insert multiple of these. So I'm just copy this again, comma, comma. I'm gonna enter 4 of them. Control save. I'm gonna save it, and here I'm going to run it, and you get them back. And if you go back, you should see 4 more. Yep, you see 4 G's. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to the editor, and we're gonna comment this out so it doesn't run it again. And we're gonna uncomment this one. Control save. Now let's see what happens. All right, just scroll to the top. Let's see what happens. Okay, here it is. It says number of records 1. Okay, 1. So we deleted 1, and the status is good. All right, so let's go back. We did have, remember, we had 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna actually refresh this, and now we have 3, 4, 5. Notice that it doesn't delete all the G's; it just deletes 1, which will be the last one up here. Look, take note of the object IDs. This is 21C, 21D. So we got C, D, E. Okay, and we delete 1 more again. We're gonna delete 1 more. We go back in here. And remember, the E's in the bottom is going to delete the last one you've entered. So, oh, it actually deletes the first one. I've always thought it was the last one. So it actually deletes the first one, guys, that it sees. So it counts down from top to bottom, and it deletes the very first one that it sees that matches its criteria, which is G. Which, okay, that does make sense. Sorry about the confusion, guys. It eliminates the very first one from top to bottom, which makes sense. Sorry. So now we're going to look at find one and delete, okay? This one's pretty interesting, and this is by far my favorite one. The reason why is because it gives you which one you've deleted. So far, you've never seen it print out the one it deleted, because it does not print out the one. It just searches for it and then deletes it and then tells you, okay, deletion is done. Like there's no going back. It's done. This find one, let's type it in, find one and delete. This find one and delete actually comes back with the result. All right, it comes back with the result, and you can do whatever you want with this result. Okay, control save this. You'll see in a bit right now what I'm talking about. Run it. See, it comes back with the value that it did delete it. Don't get me wrong, it did delete it. Like if you go back, it deleted 21D. If you come back here and view it, 21D is gone. Okay, but the thing is, we do have the value now, and then we could, like, perfect example of why you would want to do this is when someone deletes a record, you could ask them, it deleted, but you could ask them, are you sure you want to delete it? If they say no, I'm not sure, well, you could just put a insert method, right? Insert method, and insert this value that it gave back in here in this callback. Right here, you could do a db users dot insert and then insert the values that you got from result. So this actually gives you a way to actually give you back the data if you made a mistake or something, like you did not want to delete it. But that's the reason why I love this one the most out of all of them, because it gives you the result. All right, those are the 3 for delete, and now we're gonna look at updating one. We're gonna comment that out. Well, actually, I need to copy it, so I'm gonna copy this, then comment this out. Uncomment this. Instead of find one and delete, we're actually gonna put find one and update. Okay, instead of delete, we're gonna put update. I think I spelled that right. All right, so let me actually get rid of, okay, then yes. But to make it easier for you, I'm actually gonna move this down like this. okay? Because it's going to be a little bit tricky, okay? It is going to be a little bit tricky. So we have to find one and update, and I'm going to actually find one with the ID, okay? The ID property, because we just want to update one. So I'm going to just grab, I'm going to grab this ID right here. Copy value. And the first parameter, all right, the first object that it takes in is, yes, it takes it in by objects, okay? The first object it takes in is what do you want to find? Which one do you want to find? So this is where we're going to put the ID. So ID, we want to find the ID that has the new object. Don't forget the new object ID, this, whatever this is. Remember this one's the, it has G, all right? We want to find the ID or the data that has the ID to this. And then the second thing, it takes in a comma right here, all right? The second object is going to be, okay, what do you want to update from that ID? I want to update the name to Jess, all right? But this is not going to work. The reason why is because the update actually takes, you have to tell it a specific keyword, all right? You want to set name to Jess, or you want to increment the age by 1. You gotta actually tell these, you gotta tell it these kind of things. You can't just say I want to update the name to Jess. It doesn't, MongoDB doesn't work like that. It actually has operations. All right, we're gonna look at the docs for a sec. Now if you go to references right here, references, it's in the bottom of the page. Go to references, you go to operators, update operators, that's what we want to find. It takes you to this page, right? And these are the fields that whatever you want to do, it'll do. So right now we want to set a value of a field in a Docker. That's what we want to do. If you actually click on it, it'll take you how to use it. See right here, you're gonna have to do it this way. You want to set, and it takes an object. So we're already inside this object, the one where what we want to set, right? We're in here already. Ignore this right now. We're in this object, all right? We're already in there, and you want to set a field property to the value, okay? But notice that you have to put in this syntax right here in order for it to work. So we're gonna try that right now. So instead of this, you have to go down here. You have to do $set : and then this takes another object, and we want to set. We're gonna actually grab this right now. We want to set this, the name, to Jess. Now this will work. So if we go back here and run it. Oh, we got an error. Object ID is not defined. Let me see. Copy. That's because I misspelled it right here. Paste. Control save. Now run it. All right. It gives you the value G. That's because this is another thing we gotta worry about. That's because it gives you what the old object was. All right, it's giving you what the old object was. But if you actually look at it, 21E, remember that. If we actually look at it in Robo, which is 21E, which it does, G. But if we actually refresh this, 21E now is Jess. All right, but the reason this is by default, look, if you go back to the docs, you scroll up some, update parameter. Where is it at? I don't know where it's at in here. I'm just Google it. MongoDB return original. Sorry guys, just bear with me just for a moment. I'm trying to find it. I am trying to find it. Control F, return original. All right, there it is. Well, it's not really it, but I'm gonna tell you. Oh, right here it is. Right here, look. All right, here it is. Return original, which is going to take in a Boolean, but the thing is, it's gonna return the modified object rather than the original. All right. And basically, this is default. Return original, false or true is default. Okay, is default from Mongo. Return original equals true. That's default from Mongo. And what that does is actually going to return the original of that object, what we did right now. See, it returned the original one. It didn't return the modified one. So we actually have to tell it we want to return the modified one instead of the original one. So how do we do that? Well, we literally just pass in another object within the objects. So this is one object, this is another object, and we're gonna pass in another object. Okay, and we're gonna say return original. We're gonna set that to false. All right, that's because we want the modified version returned. Now we gotta set it to another one. I'm gonna actually set it to I don't know, man. Mongo. I love Mongos, but I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's a name somewhere, man. People be making weird names, but Mongo. All right, we're gonna actually run this, and you're gonna see that is gonna return the updated. Mongo, it returned the updated instead of the original. And now we look back over here. Remember, it's 21E right now. Look right here. Refresh this. 21E, and we get Mongo. All right, so that's literally how you do things, guys. And we're gonna actually do one more. We're gonna actually increment Mongo's age. Mongo is 25 and still lives in Texas. I'm gonna actually update all of them so that way you could figure out how to do that. Okay, and we're looking at the docs again. I'm gonna look at the docs because you need to get used to the docs. I'm telling you right now, you do need to get used to the docs. I'm gonna set, and it tells you right here how to do it again. You can actually set multiple things. Okay, you see this? You're gonna set field to value, and then add a comma, and you can do it again. So we're gonna set location. I'm gonna comma this. I'm gonna say location to the tropics. I'm gonna say it like that, tropics. All right, and we're gonna increment the age by 1. Now remember, to increment an age, you're gonna use this method. Let me go back to the docs. Update query. The inc method. You see, increments in value in the file by the specified amount. We look at that right now. This is it right here. Look at this. Inc the field and then the amount you want to increment it by. Okay. Let's do that right now. So, where am I at? Right here. By the way, when you start doing these kind of things like the inc and set, it's going to be inside this second object. It's never going to have its own object. Okay, guys? So right here after this set object, we're going to actually add a comma here and then put the inc and then set that to an object. Okay, and we're going to set the age. We want it to increment by 1. So control save. Do it right now. Let's do it. We get Mongo. I spelled location wrong. So if you spell something wrong, guys, it actually adds it in. Okay, and I spelled it wrong the first time. So let me just get rid of this right now. Let me see where. Refresh this. View docs. Yeah. Give me this. I'm gonna actually delete this one. No. Edit docs. I'm gonna edit this doc. Get rid of this. Location tropics. Save it, I guess. All right. Now we have 26 Mongo 26 in tropics. I'm actually do it one more time. I'm gonna say tropics island. Right, and we're gonna actually increment this by, so it could be 30. We're gonna have to increment it by 4. Control save. Now let's try to do it one more time. So name Mongo, age 30, location tropics island. So guys, now you know how to find or update one, because you can only update one at a time. Well, you can update, yeah. You know how to update now. You can know how to delete many, one, find one and delete, and you can also insert one or many. And you can also fetch, and you can fetch all of them or by specific parameters that you want to set. So this is the basics of Mongo, guys, of how to fetch, delete, insert, and update. The Crud operation. That's what they call the Crud operation. Crud, which stands for create, read, update, and delete. So guys, with that said, on the next video, we're going to be looking at Mongoose, which is makes our life simpler on it actually acts well with Mongo, guys. It makes our life simpler by actually not making the syntax so hard on us, and we could actually start doing things faster, or write things faster, I would say. We're gonna be looking at Mongoose, and we're also gonna be creating our first API endpoint. So stay tuned for the next video, guys. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Please leave a like or a dislike, and leave a comment down below if you find this worth your time, I guess. If I'm doing a good job, something, comment. Jesus, I haven't had comments. Jeez, comment. But I will see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.